How to thrive in any market.
Wow, let's talk about that today on the Wandering But Not Lost podcast. Welcome to Wandering But Not Lost, your online source for finding balance so that you can align, connect, and prosper. And now your hosts, Jan O'Brien and Matt Emerson. Well, welcome everyone to the WBNL Wandering But Not Lost podcast, where we align, connect, and prosper. This is episode 356. You can find all those show notes over at WBNLpodcast.com. Jan O'Brien, that is a good question.
It's funny because we have done an episode like this when we first got started, because the thing about most industries, and real estate particularly, is there's always cycles. So as we record this in May of 2025, let's face it, this market isn't easy. And guess what? It won't be easy if you keep telling yourself this, because we're going to talk a little bit about that. The people that walk around and go, the market is so tough, there's not enough deals, and that is literally your calling card to the universe to say, this is my reality, so let me be in scarcity. Let me not have as many people to work with. Definitely going to cover this today, right? But the truth is the interest rates are high. Buyers and sellers are uncertain. They have been, honestly, for the last couple of years for different reasons. Last year, it was the impending presidential election here in America. Now we've got a president and we've got a little bit of chaos and a little uncertainty, a little bit more uncertainty than who was going to be the president, about inflation and economic news. And the news is filled with all kinds of that stuff every day. But here's the truth. Every market offers opportunity. Every market.
Yep.
Matt and I, we have survived the biggest downturn we've seen, probably historically, when we had the 06-08 crisis with the foreclosure crisis. We all adjusted and adapted to that. Or those that adjusted found a way to serve people based on what was going on. So the question is, are you going to sit back and wait until exactly what your buyers and sellers are saying, when the rates go down, when the market crashes? I've been hearing that for 3 years now. Or are you going to rise up and lead? So in today's episode, we're breaking down exactly how to thrive in any market, because what we're going to cover today is what you should do all the time, not just now, but we feel like we've got to talk about this because a lot of you have gotten out of remembering that you just need to be focused on where the opportunities are. So we're going to cover that. We're going to talk about daily disciplines that should happen every day, no matter what's going on. And then the things that are really separating the ones that are thriving from those that are just surviving.
Yeah, so let's get into the reality check of the situation. It is so funny that, Jan, that you talk about that, about the cycles of a market and the things that you're hearing now. I mean, how many times have we heard all these things, and then there's there'll be those people, the real naysayers, like real estate is over, it's just crazy. So, it's one of those things that you have to get on one side of the fence, right? And then get your beliefs in line. And, like I said, we'll be going through that as the time goes on here today. But, you're hearing it everywhere. And I know that, I'm not out there selling like Jan and her partner Cosmo are every single day, right? And hearing these things from everybody, buyers and sellers and everyone out there, they're hearing it everywhere. So, buyers want to wait. Not because they don't know what's going on with interest rates, and sellers are hesitant to make the move, especially when the mortgage rate, is what 3-4. What is the mortgage rate today?
No, they have 3-4%, and that's why they don't want to give it up.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
The rates are at 7, and they've been hovering around 6 to 7 for the last 2 years.
That's right. So, and everyone's asking, should I just sit tight until the interest rates come down? Right. Well, boy, oh boy. Once again, talking about cycles of market. 7's horrible, but 18 is way worse, and we've seen a lot going on there. So you know what I mean. Believe me, this might feel like a crisis, but it is not the crisis that there have been in the past, or that's been around in the past. So it's crazy. So sitting around, I don't know. Here's a spoiler alert, folks. People have been saying that for 3 years consistently now in this market. So but yet. Houses are still, people are still buying and selling, right? So that's the market shifted, but that doesn't mean you have to shrink. And that's the real key to that, what Jan was talking about. It's that your opportunity, you need to find it. It means you need to shift with what's going on in the market. That is the bottom line. The agents to do that are going to be closing deals, building their pipelines, which is so key in every environment, but almost in this one more. And you're able to grow your business that way.
And, you bring up a great point. Buyers and sellers, sales are still going to happen. People still have to sell their homes. We've been talking about it. We'll talk more about that today. But if you're comparing it to how it was in a market where there were more sales, then that's the problem. We're in a market where there's a consistent number of sales. Maybe it depends on where you are. But if you look at the numbers historically or nationally, they are down, but they're staying consistent.
Right.
We haven't had an increase in demand in a little while, but people are still buying. And if you go, well, there's not enough to go around, that's the whole point. And that's where we need to start first with, are you in a scarcity or an abundant mindset? And everything always starts with mindset. What you're thinking about, what the actions you're taking every day, and the feelings you're having around what you're thinking about is creating whatever your reality is. Now, if we can't get past this one, the rest of the stuff that we're going to talk about today is not going to help you. So I'm going to take a few minutes just to really dial in on this. It's so powerful. And Matt knows I have slipped. It's easy. It's so easy to slip into a scarcity mindset, especially if you surround yourself with media, news outlets, people who are saying the same thing over and over again about how bad it is. If you can recognize that pattern and go, no, and I just change it. We interrupt the pattern and we just go, switch that stuff off. And these are the things that we really need. I'm going to help you with some ideas of what to do. The first thing is recognize you're in that space. Because again, I was doing that a little while ago, and I have totally shifted and everything is flowing beautifully. Matt knows I was not like how I used to be, right? I've come a long way, wouldn't you say?
You have grown, Jen O'Brien.
You know, I've been teaching this concept a long time. I haven't been living it until recently. Yeah. Right? When you say?
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Absolutely.
All right, so let's face it. So if you're in a space where you're coming from scarcity, where fear, lack, desperation is exuding from you, that's going to repel clients, or worse, it's going to attract people who have the same feelings. And guess what? They're not going to do. They're not going to buy or sell. Okay. So if
you're in that spiral, then
yes, you totally will start spiraling. But when you shift to abundance, everything changes. You stop seeing obstacles and you start seeing options and opportunities. Your energy becomes magnetic. Your confidence is contagious. You attract people. You attract the people that are in that percentage of people who are buying and selling because they want to work with you, not with somebody who's ho-hum. So your mindset is your internal market condition. Think about that. I just love awesome. That. If you tune in to your internal market condition, is it coming from the sky is falling, I don't have enough money, I don't have enough deals, or are you like, where's the opportunity today, right? So let's give you a couple ways. You've heard them before, but they're worth repeating, and it starts with gratitude. Gratitude, first thing in the morning, start your day by identifying something you're grateful for. It can immediately shift your frequency, because if you get up and you start thinking, here's another day because you're starting to go down that path, stop, pull out a journal, put out a piece of paper, or just say out loud, today I am grateful for getting to do this podcast with Matt. And I'm grateful, and maybe there's the next thing. I'm grateful for the opportunity I have to visit friends that I haven't seen in a while tonight. Okay? And you're immediately shifting your energy. Visualization. I do this every morning with part my routine, a visualize success. Just picture yourself, even if you just take a minute in a meditation or just close your eyes, go sit outside for a second and visualize the kind of clients that you want to have coming in, working with you, getting referrals, just energizing your work. If you're going to go out today, like for example, this weekend, we're going to hold open houses. I'm already starting to focus on, we're going to hold these open houses, even though there was a part of me telling Matt, yeah, we're going to go hold open houses. And I could be like, well, we have to go hold open houses. It's like, no, we're going to go do these other things when we're out there, but we're also going to attract people that might want to buy that house, or we'll pick up some people that are out looking because it's a holiday weekend, right? Yep. Surround yourself with positive possibility thinkers, okay? Who you talk to matters. I already talked about this. If you're hanging around with people who are doom and gloom, or you're hanging around with people who are focused on growth and solutions, that's the contagious part. What are you attracting, and what are you mirroring, right? Affirmations, my favorite affirmation. I attract a client today who is ready, willing, and able to buy or sell a home with me. Opportunities are always around me. And then just small wins, okay? Just small wins. And what helped me get focused are all these things to get out of the little tiny funk I started to get into. And it was and what happened, let me tell you what happened. It was because I hadn't been consistently doing the things that I needed to do months ago, which meant, guess what? A slowdown in the closings. Then we got back on track and everything started flowing, but that's business that's happening in 2 to 3 months. We sell a lot of new homes. Some of them are 6 months away. So I had a little 2-month period where, oh my goodness, there's no closings. Now, is that the market? Is that the market's fault? No, that was Jan's fault. Jan takes responsibility because I wasn't doing the things that I needed to be doing to generate people into my pipeline. It's as simple as that. So can't do anything about that. But guess what? When there's a little lack of the funds coming in, this is where the scarcity mindset can sneak in and go, see, gotcha. You really can't do this, right? And so all I had to do is switch back, go back to simplicity and the simple things. And I'll talk more about that in a minute, things that you can do.
I got to tell you that what's your internal market condition is the best line I have heard in a long, long time. That's awesome. If I was a real estate agent selling right now, I'd be having that put somewhere in front of me where I could see that all the time. And if you are a manager, of an office manager, and or a mentor or coach, you need to be asking that question to the people that you're mentoring, because that is really powerful, because you do have control over the only thing you do have control over, right, is the things that your mind frame around all things. I think that's absolutely brilliant. So let's talk about where some of the opportunities are right now. None of these are going to be game changing new things, right? But the thing is, you need to focus on where there are some cracks in the wall, if you will, because every market has underserved niches, and that's just all there is to it. So right now, we're seeing opportunities with obviously people that are ready to move up and have equity in their home, which, it is nothing like it was. I mean, right now, the equity that people have in their homes is way higher than it has been in America for years and years and years and years and years, right? Totally. So there is a huge opportunity there. You got to play. Let me just stop for just a second and go back just to what we're talking about regarding the whole interest rate thing. Jan talks about this with passion and with such knowledge now. You need to know how to talk about interest and about your mortgage. You need to understand that whole part of the deal, because even though you're not the loan officer, you are the one that can guide and really take them into a different place when they're really considering what that's all about. Because 9 times out of 10, they're looking at it in the wrong way, or they are stuck in some zone that they have experienced some other time in their life. So if you know what's going on with the mortgage market, and you're able to actually talk about it, you're way ahead of the game. Way ahead of the game. Another segment to focus on is downsizers. Obviously, you want to cash out while the prices are still high. Yeah. That's always around, but that's right now. That's the thing. This is one that, we always say, people are going to buy and sell no matter what. So there's life events happening all the time. There's births or deaths or divorces or relocations. All that stuff is still around there. You just need to be able to find those people and then throw your positive internal market condition on them for that. Investors obviously re-entering for long-term holds, and something if you have in your area, and a lot of areas do, new construction is huge, right? Because a lot of the home builders are offering incentives like lower interest rates. And boy, Jan has got some great stories on how they have gotten clients into homes because of what you can do and massage the interest rates in that marketplace. So that's huge. So that's just some of them, but there's a lot more. But the point is, you need to really focus on that. So don't buy into the narrative that no one's buying or selling, because that is just simply not true, right? The spigot never gets turned all the way off. What will get turned off are a lot of realtors will be out of the business, which gives you another opportunity, right? So ask yourself, what pockets of the market are being overlooked in your area? You need to obviously be a market expert, right? And that should be your lane. That
is so true. And to piggyback onto the sellers, what's interesting, what we've been noticing, we track the numbers quite a bit, the market numbers here, and Cosmo goes even deeper. And in the last couple months, we have seen, probably like last 3 months, we have seen an uptick in new listings coming on the market in the Las Vegas area. I don't know if that's happening in your marketplace, but what's interesting, it's new listings, which to me says people, even though they have great interest rates, and for the last couple of years they've been, I don't want to give that up. I love my rate. And even though I may not like my house and I would have moved already, I'm not going to give up and double my payment. Well, some of those people I think are just really starting to go, I need to move forward. But I think it could be a lot of other things. It could be things for people that have to move. But it's interesting that we've seen consistently more listings, but not more buyers. So what does that mean? We currently have 2 listings on the market, and we're getting showings on one, but no offers. And we just put one on the market a couple weeks ago, and hasn't gotten any showings. And so we've just reduced the price, but the price was very competitive. So it's a very interesting market, which means there's opportunities when you have buyers in that particular case. Frankly, right now for buyers on resale in my market, there's a little bit more opportunity. There's always opportunity in our market because they build so many new homes. Yeah. And that's where we will focus on trying to tell. And we have several people that we've helped that sell their home to buy a new one. And they're really going from a 4, 3.5, 3.75 to a 4.25. That's what we've been able to do. So there's opportunities. As Matt said, you've got to go find them.
Jan, when's the last time that you could say that listings aren't just flying off the market? I mean, it's been years years and years.
It was like that. So now listing agents that are newer in the business are like understanding what it was like in markets past, where it can take 6 months to get your home sold.
Crazy.
It's not taking that long, but it's taking 2 months, it's pushing 2 to 3 months right now, even longer. All right. So the daily discipline, this daily discipline, we call it do the daily, is your winning success formula. No matter what the market is, right? Mindset gets you grounded. Mindset is the starting point always. Because if you go do this daily and you have the wrong mindset, then it's not going to work. It'll work, but you'll attract things that you'll attract frustration, chaos, people who don't make decisions, which will make you just one of those crazy real estate agents running around going, this business sucks. Okay. It can suck. It can have the ups and downs, but I don't say that. I don't. I might have used to say that. I don't, because I don't want any of that kind of craziness coming into my life. So it starts with grounding and your mindset. And that's number 1, doing something as a morning routine that helps you establish yourself grounded in a positive mindset. So you know what that is for you. And here's the beautiful thing. It doesn't need to take an hour. It can literally be 5 to 10 minutes is enough to get yourself rolled out of bed and shift your mindset. And it means don't pick up the phone and start scrolling social, checking your texts and emails. I pick up my phone because I go to a place where I listen to some meditations that I like. So find what works for you. It can be, we already just did an episode on that. Go back, and maybe Matt will put it in the show notes about how to get up and create your own. I won't spend any more time on that, but definitely don't skip that. Do something for yourself. Number 2, you've got to do 1 to 2 hours of lead generation. And lead generation is what you're passionate about, what you like to do. Because if you get up and you're like, my thing is I make phone calls, and you're not all happy about that, then that phone call thing is not going to work. Knocking on doors. If you don't like to knock on doors, don't say you're going to do it. You could just do enough business right now, in my opinion, is if you just held open houses every day. Mm-hmm. Go hold an open house every day, 4 to 5 days a week. Guarantee you'll pick up people. You'll get neighbors, you'll get people, you will. But the average person does it once a month if they do it at all. Right. If open houses is their thing. So 1 to 2 hours a day, at least 5 days a week for us is content creation. And when we got off of posting 2 to 3 a month, that's what can happen. Yeah. If you go to 2 to 3 a month, none's happened. Pipeline closed up. 2 to 3 a day, you will get leads. Okay, that's what happens for us. 4 to 5 open houses a week, you will get leads, and so on. You understand. Number 3 is follow up with the leads that you have, the ones that you met. Not everybody's ready to buy a house right now that you meet at an open house or that finds you online or however you do your business. You have to have a system. A CRM works for that, and then you need to follow up. And we do that, and we follow up the active leads that we have that are, and then we go back and we check in, and we do things like have a drip on them, send them a monthly newsletter, which I'm working on right now, as Matt knows. Oh. The 4th area is active clients. I always bring this in. Active clients are the priority. If you have one today, I have a client today. That's part of my day. I'm attending their signing appointment for them today and making sure they're being taken care of. But it's not my whole day. I've already, I have to still do my lead generation. And then last is admin time. And we put that last because that is not your focus. 1, 2, and 3 are your focus. Morning routine, lead gen, and then following up with leads that you have. Active clients come when they come. Of course, you're going to fit your schedule in on that, but you don't have an active client every day. It would be great if you did, but you would have to have a body of people helping you if you had a client a day, or you'd have to have a team. admin is where we will have this idea that if we stay busy, because in our culture, it's in our mindset, if we're busy, we're productive. But if you're busy means you spent all day just doing paperwork or watching a video or doing this or trying to get ready and never did anything that got you in front of people who want to buy and sell, that business is going nowhere. Okay, so that's the daily. You have to do it. If you do it, everything falls into place.
Yeah, absolutely. We are grand believers of the daily because it makes total and complete sense. So I guess something you just need to really realize right now is it's not the time to go quiet. It's not the time to shrink up. It's not the time to be the one that's going to wait around, right? For someone to come to you. It's never the way it is really for a successful realtor. But in this kind of market, you can really stand out because a lot of people because they also are, their internal market conditions are telling them that they, need to maybe go get a real job or whatever the situation might be. So we've used the word opportunity a lot already today, but I'm telling you, it really is so important. It's the key thing because your clients are looking for leadership. They're looking for counselor. They're looking for someone that's going to be able to help them guide them through the unknown that's going on now. So you need to stay present and you need to stay visible. And one of the best ways to do that is using video. Video is the form of communication that people are eating up, and that's what they want. They want quick, precise information that is going to actually mean something to them. I think I'm seeing more and more that finally realtors are kind of getting it a little bit more and not like this is all about me, but it's all about what's going on in the marketplace finally. Yeah. I mean, how many times have we been preaching that to people? And talking about what we can link in the show notes, we have a plethora of videos on marketing and, on video, how to create the right videos and how to use social media and all of that. So we're not going to go into the real detail of all of that right now, but I will put links in the show notes to all those past episodes. Or actually, it'd probably be easier for you just to go through our past episodes and just click the ones that you like, because we've done a lot of video on that. So, and it's all about talking what's happening in the marketplace right now, because that's what people want to know. But you need to do it not in the, oh my God, the sky is falling, or, oh my God, this is the worst time in the world in real estate. You have to do it with calm and confidence, right? So here's some things you can do. You can host Q&As live. That can be intimidating, and it can be kind of maybe sometimes hard to get started, and you have to sometimes have a following first to get that all going. There's a lot of things around that, but if you have the capability of doing that, do it. And if you've never done it before, get out there and start trying it, because as you keep doing it, it will start growing, and that's just a great way to do that. Market updates, Jan just talked about that. To keep the market is changing, there are, as it always is, but I mean, people are hearing different things from wherever they're getting their information. And that's the problem with what's going on right now. There's so much chaos and confusion out there that, every city in America is going to be different than the other city in America. So, you are the one, and they're hearing things a lot of times that are a little more global and not so local. So you need to make sure that you know what's going on there. Market updates are the greatest way to do that. Community content obviously is always really good, showcasing what's going on in that community, and people are moving from another area into your town. Vegas is the greatest example of that, because people gravitate there from everywhere. Sharing buyer strategies is a really great, how they can get in and how they can angle, their rates and everything else is part of the deal as far as negotiation goes. Posting market updates is great. And your whole goal really is to be the local guide. To be the guide and to be the counselor. Don't be the salesperson. Salespeople always turn people off, no matter what the marketplace is. So, just really focus on how you can educate and inform. That's what it's really all about. So you need to position yourself as the calm and expert in an extremely, extremely chaotic and noisy world.
Absolutely. So why don't we finish up today with an action plan, what you can start doing today, this week. Let's keep this very simple. This is going to be your Thrive in This Market Challenge. Number one, audit your time. Are you doing income producing activities? Take a look at where you're spending your time in the past week, or what you've got scheduled this week. Where is your income producing activities? Are you doing that 1 to 2 hours of lead gen? And then can you identify right now, like what we talked about today, where are leads that you should be focusing on? Where do you need to shift to find where the opportunities are in this market? if you're staying on the one that's not working, that was working for you before, that means you need to shift. Okay. And go get outside your bubble and find one of the groups of people that are buying and selling right now. For me, it's really 100% focusing on new homes. Those are where the opportunities are. That's where people can get in with a payment and buy a house that's affordable, where they wouldn't be able to do it in most cases in the resale market. Next, reach out to 10. 5 plus 5 is 10. Reach out to 10 people in your sphere of influence, your past clients, in the next week. Just check in with them. It's just basically, how's it going? Get a conversation. If it's a past client, how is just started doing some of this? What did you ever do about that backyard? Or how's everything going in the new house? I can't wait to, when can I come by to visit? I can't wait to see what you did to, because people take those blank new homes that are very kind of sterile looking sometimes if you didn't build it yourself, and then they do some amazing things to it to make it themselves, right? And as Matt just said, record and post 2 short videos this week. Just do 2. Just do 2. I'm not saying you have to do 2 each day. I'm saying just do 2 if you haven't been going with this, and see if that medium is going to work for you. Because if you find that you're really got a niche for that and you always were afraid, go back and watch the podcast we did a couple back about how to use video marketing. We talk about that fear. We talk about how to get started.
Yep.
We have a whole bunch of great content in that one episode alone. Schedule 3 appointments with people. Like, make them Zooms, make coffee. Just do check-ins. Hey, you want to get together? Try doing that. And then recommit or commit or create, or all of the above, to your morning routine. Momentum builds fast when you're in motion, right? So here's the deal. Market isn't the problem. The market isn't the problem unless you make it the problem and you focus on it as a negative, right? It's a mirror. Okay, so what did we just talk about? Your internal market condition. And then when you are getting whatever you're getting and feeling and you're having about what's happening, it is a mirror for your internal market. Awesome. Whatever is your internal market condition, you're feeling it, you're thinking it, you're taking action or no action, and the world reflects that to you. It's showing you where you're aligned and where you're not.
That's awesome.
I hope I can get that point across. It's you. It's you. You're the change that you've been waiting for.
Right. So you can thrive in any market, right? But only if you commit to showing up, leading with value, and staying consistent with your message and your time.
Right on. And guess what? If you need support with that, we would love to help you. Number 1, our Real Estate Sales Builders course. And if you're a trainer or a team leader and you need to help your agents, we have the Real Estate Sales Builder Certification course, which will help you use our training, our foundational training, which has all kinds of things in it to help you get reignited for taking charge of your business. You'll get so much in there. We have so much content, scripts and systems and all that. And I don't hardly ever do it on the podcast, but I'm going to throw it out today. We always have had on our site, if you want to book a free 30-minute strategy session with me where you just want to talk about whether or not our training courses could work for you, or you want to know about doing one-on-one coaching with me, you can just fill out the form. We'll have a link in the show notes. Just go there and just fill it out and say, hey, I want to take advantage of it. The 30 minutes probably end up being 45 minutes to an hour. Completely free. You always walk away with some, I can't help but help people. So if you want to do that, I'll give you some strategies. You'll tell me about what's going on in your business, give you some help to start working on it, and then maybe point in the direction of somewhere of our free training and or very affordable training is for you. How about that, Matt?
I think that's freaking awesome. Well, we will put that information all in the show notes, which, by the way, this has been episode 356, and you can find all the show notes over at WBNLpodcast.com.
Yay. That's it. So go out there and thrive.
Love it.
Keep thriving.
Keep on thriving.
Keep on thriving. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.